Hey David, did you hear that they're gonna build a new Supra? Isn't that so cool? Oh really, a new Supra's coming out? When? I just don't care anymore. Wait, what do you mean you don't care? It's a Supra. It's gonna be fantastic no matter what. This is a Mustang! This is a 240SX! This has a 2JZ motor in it. What do you have? What could have been a Mark V Supra, essentially. And they took way too long. So at the Geneva Motor Show, Toyota just unveiled a new Supra concept. Again. Except this time it's even better, they say, because it's a wide body race car. Who asked for this? You and I both know that we want to see a new Supra and we want to see the new Supra succeed. It's what we want. Most of us would have been fine with just a tweaked version of the Mark IV, built a 3JZ inline 6, as long as it was a Toyota inline 6, we would have been happy. Then we go along, ended up finding out they collabed with BMW, kind of like what they did with the BRZ FRS, with the Subaru Boxer engine, which was fine, sure, whatever. And also unveiling the first official version of the Supra as a race car in a way is really cool, but at the same time, I see it as almost chickening out. I feel as though they thought that, what if people don't like how the normal one looks? So let's just go crazy and put a wide body kit and a wing on it and some downforce, and not even show the engine to anybody so nobody judges it. That's how it kind of came off to me. I'm being a little harsh about it, but for God's sake, it's been what, almost 10 years? I used to watch a show called Fastlane Daily, and they were even talking about the new Supra is about to get unveiled, and it looked like this back then. Then in 2014, I went to SEMA and actually saw the FT1 concept, which Toyota actually built. They did a bunch of features on the FT1 saying how beautiful it was and how sleek, and then I saw it. I was like, for God's sake, Toyota, build the FT1. Please build the FT1. And with this race car concept, it looks like we're on the right path to a very similar body shape, which I'm happy about. But if BMW can actually build the i8 concept basically into the new i8, we're now in an era where concept cars can actually be a thing thanks to technology and things like that. The clock is ticking, Toyota. You've chickened out, it feels like, so many times. We've seen so many spy shots of this freaking car that so many people forgot its existence. It's come to a point where if Toyota, you guys say, we're gonna unveil the new Supra at, say, the Tokyo Auto Show, and then you don't, people lose respect for that. We lose respect for essentially saying, hey, we're coming out with the new Supra, we've all been waiting for it. No, you know what, let's just not show up. So it was just a really weird situation for me. It just doesn't make any sense. Not only that, every single person I've ever talked to has been opposed to the BMW engine being in this car. And also there's rumors of it being less than 400 horsepower sometimes. We are in an era where if you buy a sports car for enough money, this is probably gonna be zillion dollars. And if you're gonna get 350 horsepower out of it, people are not gonna buy it. It's not gonna happen, in my opinion. Horsepower is not everything. The FRS and the BRZ was a good exercise. In fact, a lot of people thought that that was actually the FT1 concept come to fruition, was the BRZ and FRS, because kind of similar body lines. That was okay though, because it was the spiritual successor to the AE86. It made sense. But you're talking about the flagship of Toyota, why so many people like me are obsessed with Toyota. Because Toyota used to build such amazing sports cars. They built the Tirreno and then the MR2 and all these things. It was like a Toyota renaissance. And now you just focus on Camrys, which is fine as a business model. But for passion, Toyota, you look like you have no passion anymore. That's the problem. I went to Geneva in 2015 and there was no FT1. I was like, are you serious? Like, this is the #1 unveiling show in the world. And you didn't bring your concept car at least. 3 years later, they brought the race car version. Okay, so why are you skipping ahead to the race car version when we haven't even unveiled the normal car? This is the 2013 Mustang GT. Imagine if I unveiled the race car version of the 2013 GT before the actual 2013 Mustang GT. That wouldn't have made any freaking sense. And it doesn't make sense to this either. So I'm just kind of like, what are we gonna do here, buddy? How good is the car actually gonna be? I just don't know anymore. I have faith in Toyota's capabilities. They built some of the best cars in the world, and I want to see them succeed. But there's so many things I feel like they missed the mark on this car. They missed all the check marks that people were probably looking for. Even if the car is 450 horsepower, which would be perfectly balanced, it's getting to a point where it has NSX syndrome. By the time the Acura NSX or Honda NSX, depending on where you live, finally came out, we were just like, this is old news, dude. We don't need this. I don't care. It's just a dumb hybrid at this point. But even though that car was freaking great in a lot of ways, people just didn't seem to care about it as much. You saw it at a car show, you go, oh cool, an NSX. You see an old NSX, oh man, that's the legend right there. You see a Mark IV Supra, that's the legend right there. The new Supra will have a disconnect compared to the Mark IV because the generational gap is too big. When you have people who grew up watching Fast and Furious or something like that, they could possibly get a Mark IV Supra because the values are still so high, they might be old enough to save up that much money. But when you bring out a new Supra and it's gonna be more expensive than the Mark IV now, that's gonna be a big no-no. People are gonna be like, the Mark IV is the one everybody loves, that's the one I'm gonna get, instead of the modern one that probably doesn't even have a manual in it. So, going on this long rant and tangent, I just don't know what to feel anymore about all this. I feel like it's just a windmill of the same information for 8 years about a new Supra coming out. And it's just funny how we're still talking about this and they still haven't unveiled the car. It's kind of sad knowing that I'll probably have more fun in a 1990 S chassis with the same engine as a, 20-year-old 2JZ than a brand new modern Supra. Because you know for a fact it's gonna feel probably pretty numb in comparison. The LC500, for example, by Lexus was a perfect opportunity, I think, to build kind of a new Supra. And it was a beautiful luxury car. The rear end is actually very FT1-ish if you think about it. It's a beautiful car, there's no doubt about it, but it's $100,000 and people say it compares more to an Aston Martin than to, say, a Corvette, for example. The Supra's main competitor was the Corvette. So make it a Corvette price if you're gonna go that high. I just have so many good memories in the Mark IV Toyota Supra that this subject is so dear to my heart in so many ways. And that is why I want Toyota to succeed. I had amazing memories sharing the experience of having that red Supra for almost an entire month and giving dozens of rides to people who have never been in a Toyota Supra. I also drove the TRC Supra a few years back, and that was one of the best experiences of my entire life. The car is special. The Supra needs to stay special, and without it, Toyota is just another commuter car brand. It's nothing like making somebody smile inside a Toyota Supra when you do a pull, when it is using that inline six made by Toyota that makes the perfect sound. We don't want that to be missing anymore. It's like taking this Mustang, which is the Coyote V8, which is a fantastic engine, and then just being like, you know what? We like Hyundai all of a sudden. So let's just put a Hyundai engine in this car because it's easier for us. Bad. It kind of reminds me of when we brought the GTO over to the United States back in, I think, around 2004. It was actually just a Holden. It was a Holden from Australia. And none of us Americans kind of got the inside joke or the dirty little secret about the GTO back then. It was more of like, why did they make it look so curvy and weird and strange, and why does it look like that compared to the old muscle car back in the day, which was so mean and menacing? And why do you think the 2JZ is still around? It's because the Toyota engineers knew what they were doing. They over-engineered something that is still used to this day in a bunch of our project cars. Do you think I want to trade that out for an overly expensive, high-maintenance BMW engine later down the road? Absolutely freaking not. So that's another reason why I'm kind of against the whole collabing thing. I think it's cool when companies collab Like, for example, when Ford and GM collabed on the new 10-speed transmission that is causing basically stock Camaros and Mustangs to go 11 seconds down the quarter mile, I think that's incredible. But when you're changing the heart of the beast in such a legendary car, I gotta protest against it. I'm just over it. What do you guys think about the new Supra? Honestly, I really hope they get this right. I have faith. I know I sound like I have a lot of doubts, but we won't know until we get to drive the thing. Also, before we go, I just want to give a big thanks to everybody who got those miles per gallon keychains. Everybody seemed to love them. There's a few left, so if you want to grab the rest of them, go ahead, link in the description below. Anyways, have a great freaking day, guys. Don't worry, we'll do like a new garage tour pretty soon as well. It'll be pretty great. And other than that, more Integra things, because I'm finally moved in. I'm in the home stretch. So I'll see you later. Okay, bye.